Maureen, quick. It's your dad. Hide.
I've come for her.
You just get out of here. Go away. I'm calling the police.
She's coming with me.
No.
I'm taking her.
No. Everything you need for all weekend. Don't forget toothbrush, toothpaste, homework.
I'm going to kill you.
Don't, Dad. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed...
The only reason I will keep this gun with me is for you.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
If you tell police I have this gun, they'll come after me. If that happens, I'll find you wherever you are and kill you.
Don't, Dad, don't.
You have no imagination, Tom Darbley.
I've got imagination. It's money I lack. Hey, this is us, isn't it? Hmm? This could be my dark room.
Could we talk about a guest room before a dark room? Well?
22,000? You're mad. We've got to find 6,000 quid. We've got 1,745 in the bank, 1,200 in the building stock, 2,000 for your mini if we sell it and you have my car, and that's it. Apart from my unemployment benefit.
You'll get a job.
I won't get a job unless we move. And we can't move because of your new promotion.
You'll get a job, Tom. I've got an interview this afternoon. And don't take a job because you're panicked about not having one.
And buy a house instead.
Not a house, this house.
Morning, Mum.
Morning, Roland.
Morning, Inspector.
Morning, George. Quiet night?
The Sir Optimist's phoned. They say the day best for your lecture will be the 16th, and would you confirm?
Right, George, thanks.
Mum, is it right you want parade, 9:30?
Sharp. Please.
I'll shout the word.
Morning, boss.
Morning, Joseph.
The houseman file.
Thank you.
You want a parade at 9:30. We'll be hard put to muster 5.
5 will do.
Oh, morning, Joe.
Morning, you old devil.
Don't call me old devil.
I will. You are. George, she wants it. Muster at 9:30.
Call's gone out, Joe.
What you got for us this morning then, Ted?
I'll not tell you, and I'll not hang around. My time's valuable. I don't think you appreciate that.
I certainly do, Ted. I always have.
You said new inspector will be here at 9 o'clock. It's 12 past 9 on my digital.
Inspector Darbley is here. Just give her 5 minutes to put on her face.
What do you mean? Put on her face?
Makeup. The inspector that's replaced Mr. Widdop is a lady, Ted.
A lady? A bloody woman? I don't believe it.
Then you're almost as surprised as we are.
Sergeant Beck, get me the paper on Tatman and Fielding.
Yes, boss. Ma, this gentleman here, Mr. Ted Watson, he's been a very useful informant to us over the years. Says he has some information for us.
What's that then?
I've just witnessed a rape, Mrs. Inspector.
A rape?
Yes.
Any report of a rape, Sergeant Beck?
No, ma'am.
Come in, Mr. Watson. Sit down. What do you mean you've witnessed a rape? We haven't heard of a rape.
What's your name, Mrs.?
Inspector Darbley.
You took over from Mr. Widdop. A woman's a bit of a bloody surprise.
What information do you have, Mr. Watson?
I want £5 for it. Mr. Widdop always give me £5.
Now, Mr. Watson, I neither know nor care what arrangements you had with my predecessor, but I don't drop fivers easily. If in future you have information about any criminal act, you inform us. Sergeant Beck, take Mr. Watson here to the interview room, see if he'll come up with a statement. Otherwise, I'll talk to him later.
Hey, look, I've told you I'm busy. I won't sit in any of your rooms. I've an appointment with my acupuncturist.
Come on, Ted, nice and quiet.
I won't go in your room. I bloody won't.
Come on, Ted, no
Leave off.
shouting and scrapping.
Well,
This
don't
way,
pitch
young
me
man.
arm.
Local colour?
I think so. I don't know him. Social call, sir.
Just dropping by. See how you are.
Thank you.
Been here a fortnight.
Exactly 14 days.
Yours is a very important appointment, Jean. Very few women in England running a whole town like this. Most of our ladies are hived off to Juvenile Bureau, Community Services, HQ training.
Yes.
There are quite a few around who'd be pleased to see you fail in any way. This is still the unliberated North. Men are men, also there are pains to tell you.
I grew up with that, sir.
Yes, of course.
I'm grateful for your advice over the years and your efforts on my behalf. What about tea, sir?
No, I'm just here for the knot. I'm to see CID in Manchester. And I want to take a look at your new billiard table.
Not new, just reclothed.
Oh, will it make your team play any better?
I put 10p on it.
Next match against Ardot?
Yes, sir.
You're on.
I think Ted might be onto something. It does sound like a rape. He's prepared to make a statement, and he says he knows who the girl is.
What name?
Annabelle Porter, Waterloo Estate.
Hello. You Mrs. Porter?
Yes?
I'm Inspector Darbley. I'm looking for Annabelle Porter.
What do you want Annabelle for?
Is she here, Mrs. Porter?
She's not.
Can you tell me where she is?
Where else? At work. Industrial estate, Cately's.
No, we phoned Cately. She didn't turn up there this morning. Are you sure she's not here?
Well, have a look, please yourself. She's not here.
Where do you think she is?
I don't know. She makes her own life.
What time was it when you last saw her?
7:30, about.
What age is she?
16.
She may make her own life, Mrs. Porter, but the law is you're responsible.
Maybe she took the day off. Gone shopping.
Does she know of a man called Peter?
Peter who?
She doesn't know of anyone called Peter that you know of. Now, look, there's a possibility that your daughter might have been attacked.
Attacked?
We've had a report in from an old man out on Tomey Moor. It may have been mistaken. It might have been some other girl. But we have to find your daughter.
I don't know anything about this. If you've got anything to say about Annabelle, you must talk to my husband. He's at Johnson's on the estate. Annabelle's not here. I don't know where she is. You have to talk to my husband.
It's all right, love. It's all right. We'll sort it out. Thank you. Did you find anything on the moor?
No, Mum.
I still think we've got a rape. If the girl turns up, bring her in with her mum, all right?
Right. Oh, Mum, message for you from Sergeant Beck. Hartley Park, seen a Mrs. Maskell. Says her husband took her daughter off.
It's going to be one of those days, isn't it?
Looks like it, Mum.
What are you doing here?
She wouldn't come to the station.
Mrs. Maskell, you say your husband left home about a fortnight ago. Came back this morning and took your child away. You say it was against your will and the child's will. How did he manage that?
I don't understand you.
Well, if the child didn't want to go off with them, did he use force?
Use force?
Threaten you with violence, a weapon, knife, hammer?
No. No, he didn't, but he said he would be very angry if I didn't let him have Maureen.
Well, there's not a lot we can do. No use of force. It's hard to establish a father has abducted his daughter. I'll put out a description to our men and see if they can pick him and Maureen up. Then you can come into the station and we'll sort things out. You happy in your work?
Yep.
I mean with me.
Oh, aye.
No one will hold it against you if you want to transfer out from under my skirts.
No, boss. I'll give it a try.
Very generous, I'm sure. You'll give it a try. Come on, let's talk to Mr. Porter.
I'm saying note. I've a job to get on with, missus. I'll tell you what happened, but I won't make a statement. I had a phone call at work this morning, my Annabelle. Said some young man had assaulted her out common. She's staying with friends, I don't know where. So I phoned the missus and I told her to keep her mouth shut about it. Law means courts. I've been to court claiming compensation for my foot. They don't speak the same bloody language as me and you in these courts. They don't speak the King's English. And you bet they like a bit of dirt they can discuss and get a kick out of. By the time they're through with it, it's all upside down, inside out, all lies. Do you want to put a 16-year-old girl through all that?
We may not have a choice. And if we find out that something has happened to your daughter, I think you'll wish you had cooperated.
If you weren't a bloody woman, I'd belt you one.
Sergeant Beck, there's no reason for you to open a car door for me.
Yes, boss.
And what brought you to me?
I don't believe in the national health. I don't believe they cured anyone of anything.
Come now, Miss Maskell. And that's not what I meant.
You've not seen my daughter ill. When she has a migraine so bad, she faints dead away. And God, I wonder sometimes she's not going to die of it.
Well, I've just given her a quick check-up. She seems reasonably healthy.
She's not.
Tell me, is there a stress situation at home?
What's that supposed to mean?
Your daughter tells me that you blame her mother for her illness.
I do.
Why?
Well, she'd not get propped up for Maureen. That's obvious. She takes her down Dr. Herrick's. Saving your profession, he's a bloody useless doctor.
No, I don't know, Dr. Herrick. Why do you say he's useless?
Well, there's a surgery queue a mile long, and he gives it a quarter of a minute and a prescription of naught no more than bloody aspirin. You want a proper job done in this country, now you have to pay for it like I'm paying you.
That's not necessarily true.
Don't argue with me. It is true. It is true.
Now, look, migraine in a 14-year-old child can be due to a number of causes. The main ones are stress or hormonal imbalance.
I don't know what that means.
Well, if you wait a minute, I'll tell you. Your daughter will have to go through a series of tests.
Tests?
To establish possible causes. I'll get my secretary to arrange an appointment for her at the County General.
Are you telling me I've come all the way here and I'm to pay you money for private doctoring just to get sent down to County General, which I could have got for free from Dr. Herrick? I wasn't born bloody yesterday, you know.
You can get out of here, Mr. Maskell, and come back when you've calmed down.
Maureen? You better watch it wasting my time.
Get out of here, please.
Dr. Bowles, that young girl wrote this. She asked me to give it to you.
Come on, Maureen.
My dad will kill her. Tell me, ma'am, not to try to get me back, or he will kill her. Not to go to the police. I am all right. Maureen Maskell. Now, do you think your husband would try to attack you? Try to kill you?
Yeah.
Has he ever attacked you before, physically?
No, but you see, it's been boiling up. His rage has come to head. I know he's going to do something violent to me, to Maureen.
Tell me about Maureen's illness.
She's always had migraines ever since she's been a kid of 7. But lately, they've been terrible. He blamed me, blamed our doctor. She is ill, but not that seriously. It's him who's really ill.
Or his friends, love?
No one.
No one has no friends?
He has no friends.
Mrs. Maskell, we have to find your husband. And you have to tell me where to start looking.
Don't you think I've been trying to work that out?
Well?
Nothing. You see, he's cunning. No, it's worse. Sick in the mind.
Did he ever undergo any treatment?
No. Didn't really well to the surface till he lost his job. That's what turned him. He was always difficult. There was a great anger in him always. But from 14 months ago, when he got paid off, he became worse. It was mainly the money. He'd been earning £80 to £90 a week in the mill at Cleckworth, and then suddenly the dole. He couldn't cope.
We're going to take you down to the police station. We can't leave you here, not if you're in danger from him. Put a few things in a bag in case there's no night stay. I'll go inside. You stay here. You go round to the rear.
There may be a dangerous man in there, ma'am.
I'll be all right, Joseph. I'd like to check some of these buildings. I'd like you to stay here with the sergeant. Could you give me the keys?
How will you know which key fits which door?
I'll find out. Have you seen an ex-foreman of this plant, Rodney Maskell, round here?
No.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure.
I'd swear on God's honour.
Dolan, what do you want? Dolan, come up here. Dolan. Don't make a sound. Do you understand what this could do to you, love?
Put that away.
Turn around. Walk. Turn around.
Dad, don't do it!
Shut up, Maureen. Quick now.
I have other police officers outside.
Aye, and you tell them if they try any cheeky moves, you're the one that's for it. Come on, Maureen.
Use your personal radio, phone divisional HQ, ask for firearms officer and dog handler to attend. I'll phone headquarters. Where's the phone?
Inside.
Show me quickly. And I want to talk to you later. Where's Mrs. Maskell?
To your room, Mum.
Mrs. Maskell, did you know your husband has a shotgun?
Yeah.
Do you have any other information you're keeping back? Do you know it's an offence not to have given us that information?
Have you found her?
They were at the mill at Cleckworth. He threatened us with a shotgun. We didn't argue with it. They got away.
Is she all right?
Yes, as far as we could see.
Why can't you bring back Maureen back?
Now, Mrs. Maskell, I want you to think again. Isn't there a single person he turned to in trouble, a relative or a mate?
He had no friends.
Think about places. Have you always lived in this area? Where have you lived in the last 10 years?
First council flat, Casimir Road.
Yes.
Then cottage at Elfield.
When did you leave Elfield?
2 years back. No, I know he was right about it. It was a great big sprawling cottage right in the middle of nowhere, all old and ugly. But he loved it.
Why did you leave?
I couldn't clean it. No proper kitchen, with some loose roof slates. I said, we have to go modern. I can't take this. Saw a notice on it the other day. It's up for sale again.
Shouldn't we wait for some of the circus to arrive from headquarters?
We'll have a careful look.
I'll kill you. I'll kill anyone who comes for her.
Inspector Darby to Hartley. Yes, Inspector. Miley Cottage, Millwater Lane. Rodney Maskell, 51 Burton Road, Hartley, discharged shotgun at me. I want firearms and sniper to hear, and please put radio on and talk through. Over.
I have all that, Inspector.
And none of them around. Where do you want them?
Just keep them well out of the way, ma'am.
Mrs. Maskell.
Wallace is getting her.
I don't want him to see her yet. Keep her well back. And for God's sake, tell everyone to be careful. Inspector Darby to Superintendent Lake.
Superintendent Lake, I'm at Hartley. How is it?
Serious. He's in this cottage with his daughter and a 12-bore. I've got him contained. Are you coming out, sir?
I'm on my way. Keep him contained. Start a dialogue. We'll sort it out. Over and out.
Is the chief coming, boss?
Mr. Lake's coming.
Well, I suppose we'd better keep things quieting down until he comes.
Until he comes, Sergeant, I'm in charge. I'll make the decisions, don't worry.
Yes, boss.
The batteries were flat, so I bought 6 U2s out of my own money.
Make out a chitty.
Oh, I will, Mum.
Not now, Roland.
No, Mum.
George?
bloody woman, cop. I'll come out when I want to. My daughter Maureen's with me. Your bloody government won't be shooting me and hitting her.
Dr. and Mrs. Maskell are here.
OK, keep her away, but I'll speak to the doctor.
I'm gonna kill myself and my daughter now unless you get your men away from here. You want me to kill myself and my Maureen? You want to watch it? A free show, I'll do it. The two of us have got nothing to live for. Nothing.
Inspector Darby to Hartley.
Receiving, ma'am.
Is Superintendent Lake still there?
Left 10 minutes to go. He's in his private car, ma'am. On radio, but we don't have contact.
Phone HQ. See if you can get a traffic patrol to intercept and hurry him up. Situation with armed man developing. He's now threatening life of daughter. We need him here very fast.
Oh, we're not to ever harm you, Maureen. The threat's for their benefit. Is the migraine a bad one?
Yes, Dad.
Oh, Maureen, sorry. But we will escape. You and me. I'll work out a way.
What do you think?
I agree with Joe. You've nothing really to lose having a talk to them. I wouldn't like the situation going quiet, giving him time to sink deeper into his mood.
Get Mrs. Maskell.
There we are. Now, take 3 more of these. They're only aspirin.
Dad, I need water to swallow them.
Oh, we've no water, love, I'm sorry. Look, I know they're bitter, but you'll have to chew them to swallow them.
Maureen! It's your mother! Listen! I know you love her, Rodney. I know who kept her from you. I won't do that no more. Just come out. Or let Maureen come out. I'll do anything you want.
You lying bitch!
There's a way out of this. If you won't faint on me with your migraines.
I'm not gonna faint, Dad.
Good. They'll think I'm threatening your life. I'll put a gun to your head and pretend I'm going to shoot you if they don't let us go. That's it. That's how we'll get out.
Mr. Lake should be here by now. Shall I try and find out where he is?
Super won't save you, Joseph.
It's his experience in these situations.
Go away, Joseph.
Yes, boss.
You just walk very slowly in front of me, downstairs and out back. I'll be behind you. I'll have my left hand on your left shoulder, right hand pressing gun into your side. I'll tell them to get back. We walk slowly to the car.
Dad, you say you won't shoot me.
No, Maureen.
You'd never shoot me.
Of course not.
I won't do what you tell me, Dad. And I'm gonna leave this room now, Dad.
Afternoon, man. Have you got a statement for press?
Would you please get back? Go away for a moment. I'll talk to you later.
Just a few words on the situation.
My word is, if you don't get back there and stay there, you're obstructing officers in the execution of their duty.
It's my job to inform my readers, like it's your job to sort that bloke out.
Later! Get off with you!
Ambulance here.
Any sign of Mr. Lake?
None.
How would he stop me?
You would not leave, Maureen.
said you wouldn't shoot me.
No.
You will or you won't.
Won't. They will shoot you. They will kill you. They know that you are part of me. Look, just give me a moment, will you? Just one moment. Come to a decision. I don't think we will escape, Maureen. I reluctantly conclude that. But they were not on me to capture. Neither me nor you. The innocent in all this. We are joined by love, Maureen. Will you remember that? Because it will always be so. And remember, please, for all time, that I love you, dearest child.
Yes, Dad.
Time to go. You lead the way. Do not turn around, Maureen. Do not turn around.
Request ambulance service.
Have you a statement, Sergeant Beck?
I have, Mr. Cowley. It rained a little this morning, but it was fine. And it'll probably rain again before today's out. But don't quote me till we've cleared it with our PR bloke at HQ, right? Thanks.
Well, how the hell did this happen? Didn't you make any dialogue at all with him?
We simply didn't have time to establish a dialogue, sir.
Let's talk about you, not we. Didn't you make any deal with him at all? What went wrong?
You can see what went wrong, sir.
Well, it's a hell of a cock-up, isn't it?
So?
Then I'll go to headquarters. Try to start to explain this. You better make your report.
I have to clear up here.
No. Chief Inspector Morell is coming. He better take charge.
City or county morgue, boss?
City. Organise Mrs. Maskell to identify the body, then wait here for Chief Inspector Morell. After that, pick up Mr. Porter. I'm going to find that girl of his. And that bloke, Peter.
Yes, boss.
Sergeant Beck.
Yes, boss?
Come here, Sergeant Beck. Don't ever call me boss again. Call me Ma'am. Don't ever open a car door for me, or an office door. I can do that for myself. Don't ever put your hand out to help me climb over anything. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here to stay, Joseph. So you can forget all those jokes about women and your snide looks. And then we'll be all right, you and me. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Tom.
Hello, love.
How did the interview go?
Oh, not bad. Said they'll let me know. Tell you all about it. Come on, come on.
I'm just putting a report in to type. I'll have to come back later to sign and dispatch it.
Right, I've got a bloody capon in the oven. It'll spoil if you don't come now.
Right.
What sort of a day have you had?
Not too good. I'm coming home now, love, anyway.
Right. Kettle's on.
And we're back.
Well, it's out.
You owe me the money. I want to see you earn it.
Well, not a sound from you. Not a grin.
Davis to Hartley. She's arrived.
Come in and sit down. You know Eddie, don't you?
Indeed I do. How are you, Eddie?
Not too good.
You're looking grand yourself. Listen, I did pop by early, seeing as how you said 'twas important.
Now today, do I get to make you a cuppa?
Oh, no, dear, no. Sure, this is me on my way to work.
Right. Now, Doris, you've got to know my many tales of woe that well over the years, have you not?
I have, dear.
And you know that some of us, for whatever reason, experience this life only as a veil of tears.
I know, Jimmy. I know that Providence has given you the thin end always.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. See, I bought a motor. Turned out it was stolen, would you believe? The bogies came round and took it away. It was to be a quick turnaround. I had the buyer lined up. Well, fundamentally, Doris, I was forced to spend the profit before I'd sold the motor. I signed a few checks. Well, you know I've been done for bad checks before. Can you help me?
How much is it this time, Jim?
I hardly dare tell you.
Oh, go on, Jimmy, say it. Face it.
I need £800.
Would a cheque in the post by Monday suffice?
You are no less than my eternal treasure. I mean that.
Are you all right, Mr. Bass?
Aye, just a tickling back of my throat. Too much smoking, I expect. I'll be all right. Some of us, for whatever reason, experience this life only as a veil of tears.
Laugh, you Burke. You know something? You'll live to be 100. You'll never be half the villain that old lady is.
Now, punctuality's her thing. She's usually here 10:45 on the dot. This office is her first call. Then to the director's suite, then out to the workers.
I'd like you to sign this, Mr. Harcourt. I've listed the 11 cheques you're about to give Doris Latham, the numbers, payees, amounts. I've signed it to show I've checked its accuracy. If you just sign under my signature.
I helped prepare this list. The information about the checks is quite correct.
Would that be...
Come in. Hello, Doris.
Good morning, gentlemen. Is it 2 teas with?
No sugar today. I'm going back on saccharin again.
There we are now. 1 with 2 and 1 without. Mr. Harcourt, sir, will this gentleman here be taking tea?
No, thank you.
Oh, the checks for Mr. Mason. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
Give her 5 minutes.
You understand, gentlemen, this may be the first of a number of Fridays we'll have to go through this routine till she tries one on.
Yes, we do understand that, Sergeant.
How much do you reckon she's stolen so far?
Well, we're nearly back the full 4 years through the books. It is a fortune. This will be Mr. Mason. Harcourt? Yes, Mr. Mason. I'll just tell that to Sergeant Melchett. You're informing me that old Doris has just arrived with 12 cheques for signature, not 11. 11 being the number given to her by myself on leaving this office. Thank you, sir.
Can you keep her there?
Can you keep her there, sir? I believe the police sergeant wishes to come across now and make the arrest. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be meeting next in court. Good day to you. Many thanks for your cooperation.
Well, I thought I'd seen it all. Some little old lady.
Come in, Doris. So long. Here you go.
Now, why was she brought here?
Begging your pardon, ma'am. Why not?
I knew you were on this job, but you told me there was a good chance you wouldn't try on another cheque today. I assumed if you arrested her, you'd take her to division.
She lives in Hartley, Slater Street.
But you know perfectly well we haven't got another policewoman on strength here, which in effect makes me her jailer. I'm now involved in every item of her welfare. And this is an old lady, arrested for the first time in her life. She could very well have a heart attack and expire. Then I get the added responsibility of the attendant press publicity. Old lady dies in police custody. My custody. Did you find any relatives or friends who could bail her?
I've only spoken to her next-door neighbour, but apparently the prisoner once said she had no relatives. And evidently she's got no friends, including the next-door neighbour. And Melchett here is worried that Harker might get at her if she's bailed.
Okay, thanks.
This one.
now involved. How did it work?
In the last 4.5 years, she's been one of 3 tea ladies at Doe Electric. Over that time, every Friday morning, after she served teas to company cashier, she crosses yard to director's suite in separate office block to serve them teas.
Yeah.
Cashier says it was about 4 years ago he started asking to take all his cheques for signature across with her to director's suite.
Okay.
She stole some chequebooks. Once every month or so, she'd type out an extra cheque for this boyfriend of hers and slip it into a pile. Now, the director, with a pile of cheques which he thinks have just come fully scrutinised by the company cashier, just signs it, and it's posted off with all the other cheques.
Did you say boyfriend? Jimmy Harker's her boyfriend? What proof of Harker's involvement?
Oh, nothing we can prove. Mum, Detective Chief Inspector Logan's on the way. He knows the state of the evidence so far.
How much did she steal?
Well, they're not completely traced back through the full 4 years in the books. The figure so far is £31,000.
What?
Oh, and there's a final complication. Although we're sure the money ended up in Jimmy Harker's pocket, cheques weren't made out to him.
Who?
Arthur Hill.
Do we know that name?
No, there's nothing on computer records or with our collator.
Doris, is it?
It is, ma'am.
I'm Inspector Darby.
Oh, I read it in the local paper that all these men have got a woman in charge.
Do we have a record of your doctor, Doris? Has anyone asked you?
It's Dr. Sahadi, ma'am. Railton Parade.
Oh, yes. Now, do you know why you're here?
I do not.
Well, I'm told you're taking some money.
I haven't taken any for myself. Not one halfpenny. I have not benefited from me at all, so I'm hoping that it's not too serious.
Are you going to tell the sergeant here all about it?
Indeed, I am not.
Why not?
Well, I wouldn't mind talking to you because you're a woman. I might tell you a little bit about it, except I will not implicate my friend in his misfortune.
What friend in his misfortune? We've got this statement from you, Doris, at your dictation. But just to get it clear in my mind, there's a couple of things I'd like to go over. You met this gentleman, whom we call Mr. X, 4 years back. He pitched you the first of many hard luck stories. You decided you liked him, you wanted to help him. So, you stole a company chequebook and started typing out cheques for him and slipping them into the Friday pile for the director to sign. Is that it?
It is.
Now, it's important, Doris, for you, when you get to court, to tell us whose idea it was to steal the chequebooks and cheat. Now, did your fellow friend think up the idea?
Oh, no. I admit 'twas I worked it out. And that's really the only bad thing I've done on this.
Can you explain what you mean by saying it's the only bad thing you've done?
Well, I told you. I didn't keep any of the money for myself. It were all given away.
Doris, how much do you think's involved? How much of Doe Electric's money did you pass to Mr. X?
I don't know.
Can't you give us a guess?
Well, to be honest, it must have been several £100s.
Doris, the company accountants have gone back nearly 4 years, and what do you think they say it comes to?
I have no idea.
£31,000.
Never.
Yes.
Oh, that's not true.
It is true.
That much?
Yes, you're in serious trouble, love.
But I never took a penny for myself, excepting perhaps the odd £5 that I give to the orphans.
What does that mean? What odd £5? What orphans?
Well, sometimes when I would see this Mr. X, he would want to say thank you to me for saving his life, as it were. And he would give me perhaps a £5 or a £10 for the orphanage.
You'd give him several hundred, and he'd give you £5 back?
He would.
What orphanage?
St. Kilda's.
The children in care home?
Well, that used to be an orphanage. And I would just take the £5 that he'd give me and I'd knock on the door and I would say, there you are, there's £5 there for comforts for the kiddies. And I never took a penny for myself. It was all given away to him and to the orphans.
Now, come on. There's no point in just upsetting yourself, love.
Well, you see, I was an orphan myself, brought up in an institution, all hymns and cleanliness and no love. I know what it would be like to go through life with no one to love and no friends at all.
Well, you just lost a few friends. The directors and shareholders of Doe Electric. I suggest you start to consider whether you're going to tell us who this Mr. X is. Or it looks like you're going to carry all the blame for him as well.
Come here.
Hello, Jean. Well, you've moved rather fast on this.
I haven't moved fast at all. I've moved at an ordered gait.
I just assumed that you'd wait until I arrived before taking a statement from her.
But you know why I did it?
Yes, but it seems a pity that she's now entrenched behind this idea of Mr. X. I think I would have pressed her quite forcibly that her accomplice was Jimmy Harker.
How forcibly can you press an old lady?
Jean, I initiated this course of action. Now, I took the decision, even though we've only circumstantial evidence against the real villain.
Jimmy Harker.
I took the decision to bring in Latham with the idea of a lengthy interrogation. Now, I find her drinking tea in the cells and saying she's told you everything she's going to say.
I think she has.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, from my reading, it looks like she will cooperate with me, but she won't cooperate with anyone else.
Well, then it looks like me aiding you.
All I want to do is keep a close eye on an investigation into an old lady who's in custody in my nick.
Well, I brought in the landlord, George Moult, who cashed the cheques.
Oh, very thin. Woe begone looking face. Dull dresser. Always alone.
Tell us about these cheques that he gave you.
Oh, they were all good. Well, I mean, they must have been. Cash by bank.
Now, he gave you these cheques and straight away you gave him cash?
Oh, no. See, he'd drop by every couple of months on a Tuesday. He'd have a cheque made out to Arthur Hill. He'd endorse it on the back. Arthur Hill.
Now, did you ever ask him for proof of identification that he was Arthur Hill?
Oh, his cheque's always clear. See, I bank on a Tuesdays and a Fridays. As I say, he'd drop by Monday or Tuesday, give me a cheque, I'd deposit it along with the rest. Then on Friday, I'd confirm at the bank that it was cleared, and on Saturday, I'd give him the cash. He always bought a couple of bottles of scotch, you know.
When did you last see him?
Oh, maybe 5, 6 weeks ago. Cheque for 400 quid it was.
But did you ever ask him why he cashed his cheques with you?
Well, he said he once been let down very badly by a bank. And we all said they were the admin department of capitalism. The bloody left were so stupid they didn't realise banks should have been nationalised long before coal and steel. Bit political he was, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sort of mix. Half left wing, half National Front.
Really?
Any road, he said there was one person in his business who always insisted on paying by cheque.
You were satisfied with that?
Why not? I mean, I cash a dozen cheques a week. Say nothing of the dole and sick gyros.
Yeah, but not all at 400 quid a throw.
Every cheque cleared before I paid him.
Now, you're positive you wouldn't describe him as early 50s, 5'11", heavily built and grey hair?
No way.
Well, would you be prepared to help an artist make up an impression of him for us? It'd only take a couple of hours of your time.
Ah, OK.
And would you go now and make a statement about all this to one of our sergeants?
Yes.
And when you get back to the pub, Mr. Moult, as soon and if ever your friend Arthur Hill turns up, you phone us.
Ah. But I personally have done nothing outside the law. Right?
No, not you. Good day to you, Mr. Moult. Full name, please.
Jimmy Harker. It's in 2-foot lettering over the shop. James Harker. Want me to spell it for you?
Address?
This address.
Home address.
16 Stapley House, Ulster Road.
You had a visit this morning from a Mrs. Doris Latham.
Did I?
Did you?
Yes?
Will you tell us why she came here?
She collects for charity. What she calls her orphanage. St. Kilda's Council Care Home. She drops by once a week. I give her a couple of bob.
Well, I'm afraid you won't be seeing Mrs. Latham for a while, Mr. Harker. You see, we've arrested her for a series of cheque thefts involving in excess of £30,000.
You're kidding.
No.
What do you want with me?
You've been in trouble before.
Oh, come on, Inspector. These are the days of teletext and home computers and busmen getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning to study Open University. You can't come flat-footed in here saying, you've been in trouble before. I'll write your confession. Sign with your usual X.
We know that Latham saw a lot of you. Now, we know the description of the man who cashed the cheques in the pub doesn't fit your description. But we know he's an associate of yours.
Well, I say, you've got nothing. The two of you. Otherwise, you'd be putting the manacles on. You're trying one on, and it's not working.
Well, you're causing us a bit of a problem, not telling us who these cheques were meant for.
Well, that is my integrity.
I see. And how long do you think it's going to be before we find out anyway?
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, that is our job. That's the grease in the machine, running down criminals like your Oppo.
He is a poor, unfortunate man that has been struck every blow in the armoury of fate. There just are some people like that. They seem to be blocked every move they try to make, no matter how hard they try. I don't think he's had one happy day in his whole life.
I think he had a hilarious one the day I met you.
His business was always in trouble. Nobody cared if he lived or died.
Now look, Doris, he's a big lad. It's not as if he was a helpless invalid. And by the law of averages, if you're in the car business, despite recession and petrol prices, you've got to fall on your feet sometimes and make a few bob.
Well, he did not.
So you're admitting it's Jimmy Harker? Not denying it when I say he's a big man in the car business?
Oh, you tried to trap me there. That was mean of you.
No, Doris, I'm not trying to trap you. Jimmy Harker is a villain who saw a good thing and he trapped you.
I'm still saying nothing.
Well, keep thinking about it because we are hoping you're going to change your mind.
Listen, missus, there's something very important, and I hardly dare to mention it. But it has me worried sick.
Yes.
I told your sergeant that I lived alone, and I don't. There's me cat, Billy. It must be gone 4 o'clock, and I'm worried. I'm always at home by now to give him his tin. What with me being in here, what am I going to do about it? He's an old cat, missus. He could be ill if I don't turn up.
You live in Slater Street, yeah?
I do.
Have we got your house key?
You have.
I'll send the sergeant in with a note for you to sign that you've requested us to go into your house and feed your cat.
Ah, you'll do it.
Yes.
The tins are in the low-down cupboard. When'll he be fed?
I'll sort that out in the next couple of hours. Will that be all right?
Oh, indeed it will, and thank you very much.
And are you going to think about telling us about Jimmy Harker?
No, dear.
How much do I give it?
1 whole tin.
How did you get involved in this?
Jim Logan and his CID put the old girl in my cells without by my leave. So I became involved in their case. He's not well pleased.
No. Not surprised.
He's a bit of a male chauvinist as well, so he's double choked.
Jean,
Yeah?
this job that starts for me on Monday, I don't want to do it.
Now he tells me.
You're right. I did panic and took it because it's been 6 months since the redundancy.
Well, you shouldn't have.
Seen a job advertised in the social services department. Social worker's assistant.
What are you talking about?
Look, I was a fully qualified design draftsman. And barring miracles, I'm not going to get another job as good as that for a while. So I've been thinking, rather than take the first job that's offered, why don't I spend the waiting months doing something useful?
What?
Well, helping old ladies who live in places like this. Designing bits of cars, making coil windings, isn't doing a lot for humanity, is it?
He got us married. He bought us our first house.
I know.
Well, that happens to mean a lot to me.
Look, I do not want to be a supervisor of coil windings at ACG. I want to spend the next few months doing something useful, helping people.
Social worker's assistant?
Well, that was one of the jobs. Might have gone now. There were others.
Well, all you have to do is phone ACG, tell them to stuff it, and say you're going to work for old ladies at half the price.
Oh, come on, be serious.
I am.
Are you sure? I mean, chucking this just when we're buying a new house. A bit short of the ready, you know.
Could take a leave out of old Doris's, but... Of course I'm sure.
Hey, this car likes me. How long's she going inside for?
Ah, Arthur, come in. Sit down.
What's up? What's urgent? What's happened?
Bit of a problem come up.
Who? For you?
No, for you.
Me? What?
Those checks you passed in the pub.
Yeah?
A friend of mine's just got arrested. Well, I thought it would happen sooner or later. It's only a question of time. Awkward thing is, I'm protected, you're not.
What are you talking about?
The checks you passed.
There was nothing wrong with that.
Oh, well, lad.
But you said it was an income tax dodge. I mean, the checks were all right.
I lied to you. The checks were not all right. See, they were stolen checks with legitimate signatures. Nevertheless, they were fraudulently uttered. Technically, you've done thefts totaling over £30,000.
I don't understand it.
I said, you've done thefts of over £30,000.
I don't believe you.
And as you were the one who actually passed the checks, you're the guilty party.
Oh, this is rubbish.
Ask Bassey.
Ask the police.
You must have guessed we're not choir boys, Arthur.
But you said it was a tax dodge. And I went along with it on the basis of anything that undermines organised government and its capitalist infrastructure is fine by me. Now you turn round and explain, very skillfully I'm sure, that I've not been cashing cheques but committing a theft, which is a very different kettle of fish.
Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to go to the class enemy, the police, and I'm going to tell them exactly what's happened. And I'm going to do it right now.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I bloody mean it. Oh, I'm not frightened of you.
You'll have to persuade him.
Oh, look. Hey, look, I won't go to the police. Look, what are you doing? Come on. Can you get? I won't be intimidated, you know.
Oh, did you find Billy?
Yes. He's got quite an appetite.
Indeed he has.
Now, have you ever seen one of these before, love?
No, I have not.
It's called an artist's impression. Does it look like anybody you've met recently?
No, and it doesn't look like Jimmy Harker either.
It was drawn up to the directions of the publican who cashed your cheques. It's a sort of rough likeness of the man Arthur Hill, who you made the cheques out to. The two of them were in it, Hill and Harker. You see, you've been taken for a ride, Doris.
I've not been taken anywhere that I didn't wish to be taken. So how long will I go to prison for?
I couldn't tell you. I've no idea.
Well, anyway, what does it matter? What the hell have I got? A widow's pension book and an old cat. And just this one friend that you say such terrible things about, terrible wrong things.
Tell me one thing, Doris. How did you meet him?
Well, you see, it was after my husband died, and I took on the job at Doe Electric, tea lady, 2 hours, morning and afternoon. But it wasn't enough. I needed more money. So didn't I put an advertisement in the local paper to take in sewing and alterations and such? And this man came along. He'd a couple of suits that he needed letting out, you see, on account of putting on the weight. Well, don't we all? Ah, he was good to me. He introduced me to all his friends. 'Twas only through them that I discovered that his business was always in trouble. And that is really the only crime I have done. I have helped a good man.
We know who it is, and he's a criminal.
He is not, and I hope you never get him.
Jean?
Well, we will.
Oakwood Hospital, intensive care. There's a bloke. Hammer attack. Now, the description is like the artist's impression. Driving license in the name Arthur Hill.
The quarry behind Sprates Hill. The ambulance men said he was lying virtually floating in his own blood. This was beside him. I'm afraid the ambulance men probably destroyed any prints on it.
We'll have it anyway. What do you think?
He's in a very serious condition. 5 blows. It's a savage attack. He's not very strongly built.
When will we know?
If he can make it through the night.
Seen the address on his driving licence? 20 Stapley House, Ulster Road.
Makes him Jimmy Harker's next-door neighbour.
Are you sure he's dead?
Well, he weren't breathing, that's all.
Christ. Don't come here. Don't phone me.
Go away somewhere. Never try to see me again.
Well, what are you gonna do? I'm getting out. You better get on your bloody legs, man.
Got out so fast, he didn't lock up.
Well, he left this. It would have gone in that bag. Why is it that villains always invest their money in silver?
Maybe they know a thing or two we don't.
Well, how far do you think he's flown?
He's got out fast. He's obviously terrified for Hill's life. He won't be local, he'll have gone to London. 9 registration documents, 7 cars in the yard. So it follows if he's taking one of those 2 cars, we've got his registration number. I'll alert traffic control, but apart from that...
That's it. Until morning.
You finished your breakfast?
I have. Very nice.
Last night, there was a serious development in your case. The man whose name was on the cheques you wrote out has been badly beaten up. He's in intensive care in Oakwood Hospital. It's your friend, Jimmy Harker, has had him beaten up.
Mrs., you must stop lying to me.
What am I lying to you about?
Well, you're saying that a certain man is in hospital because he's been badly beaten up and that my friend has done it. I'm telling you that he would no more do that kind of thing than he would attack me.
Look, this nonsense really has got to stop. You're involved with a villain with a record as long as your arm. Now, why are you still protecting him?
Isn't it a question of the price you put on the important things in life? What? Look, I was alone in that house for 5 years. Sure, they were kind enough to me at Doe Electric. They were courteous anyway. But there was always that empty house every minute that I was not at work until this man came into my life. After that, I had always somewhere to go. I was welcome to call at his place of work any day. I'd make him a cup of tea and we would sit there and we'd have a lovely chat. We would talk about the good old and the bad old days. He told me that his father and his grandfather, the both of them, worked up there at Pharaoh's Mill on the hill. And he can remember his daddy crying the day that the mill closed down. Imagine that. A grown man crying.
What are you saying,
And
Doris?
you are trying to tell me that this great friend of mine is a criminal. You want me to stand up in a court of law and betray him? I can't do that. I don't care what you say he's done. He is my one and only friend. And I love him. He's used to eating first thing in the morning, too.
What?
Billy. He has a half tin in the morning as well as the one at night. Who is going to feed him now?
I'll drop by. Or I'll have one of my men drop by within the next hour. Okay.
Yes, indeed. And thank you very much.
Take that, will you?
Oh, Jean.
Yeah.
There's been a sighting. It sounds like Harker. The Abbey Motel, St Albans. I'm going there. What about Latham?
No, nothing.
Now, look. If there should be any developments here, will you try and involve the two lads, Melchett and Davis? I mean, after all, they did do all the original legwork on the case.
I will oblige, Chief Inspector.
Thank you.
Somebody's already fed you, darling. Inspector Darby to Hartley.
Yes, Inspector.
Number 9, Slater Street. Instruct Detective Sergeant Melchett and D.C. Davis to get here fast, very fast.
I think Harker's in there. You can have the arrest. I shall be back at the station.
Thank you, Mel. Front or back? You take back.
Any mobile handy for Hartley Bypass, going north of Junction Road? A beige Mini Clubman, registration number Hotel Delta 202 November. There's a chase on. Melchett, Davies, on the dual carriageway.
He got past them. Those twin tires of strength.
Hey, where's he going?
Inspector Hartley. Jimmy Harker, wanted for theft, escaped arrest, Junction Crown Lane. Assistance in search and pursuit required urgently.
Hartley, Inspector Darby to Sergeant Melchett, assistance on the way. You're on foot? Please explain. What is the present whereabouts of Harker?
Like discussed now in pursuit of suspect. Junction Crown Lane. Over.
Can you make it a bit faster, Vicar?
What?
Can you get your foot down?
Well, I'm not sure that I can. We don't want to have an accident, do we?
Stop the car, Vicar.
Stop the...
Halt the car now.
Yes, of course.
Can I drive, sir?
Yes, of course, if you want to.
Davis to Hartley. We are now in pursuit of Harker on Honda moped NHA 269P for Papa. He is not at present in our view. Still request assistance. Please note assault on traffic warden... Cowden Road. Send someone to check him out. Over.
What is your location? Over.
Erin Road. Approaching Apex Corner. Over.
Where is Harker? Where did you lose him? What's his location? Over.
Hold query, please. Spotted Harker.
How's Bells?
Where is he going?
Come on.
All right.
Come on. Davis to Hartley. We've got him. We have Harker. No assistance required from patrol.
My heroes. We've just arrested Jimmy Harker.
You have.
Now we've got him, are you prepared to make a statement about his involvement? I might as well tell you, love, we don't need a statement from you. Apparently he's talking like a blethering parrot. The assault on Arthur Hill was carried out by one Edward Bass. Do you know him? Hill's recovering, you might be pleased to hear. Are you sure you wouldn't like to get in your side of the story?
No, dear.
Loyal to the end, eh?
It isn't loyalty. It's principles.
I'll get your 11, sis.
But the sergeant was telling me that I'll be going to court on Monday morning. What'll happen there?
There'll be charges laid, and then you'll be remanded to one of the nearest prisons.
That's what I thought. I was wondering, would it not be possible for me to be sent back here after the court to await me trial?
Well, that's up to the court to decide.
Because apart from sitting here with me burden of guilt, I have really quite enjoyed the company.
We've quite enjoyed having you, Doris.
Is an additional train to Glasgow, calling at Lancaster, Oxenholme, Penrith, Carlisle, Carstairs and Glasgow Central.
I'm Sergeant Cole.
Constable Bentley, Sergeant. I'm to drive you. You've brought a touch of the nasties with you, Sergeant. It's been fine these last 4 or 5 days. Then this morning, not only this wind, but this rotten rain. Mind you, it's bad enough there's been no game these last 4 weeks at Grange Park.
Constable, if you're going to be my driver, drive.
Sergeant.
Where are we going first?
Well, I thought we'd go to the Nick first.
Did you?
Sir.
Go to the murder scene.
Sergeant. Nice to see a bit of sunshine, isn't it, Sarge?
I'll not be sorry to see the back of this job, I can tell you.
Ah, you're not kidding.
Get your skates on. Some of us want some dinner.
Not be long now, Sarge. That's where he finished up.
Sarge, this is Detective Sergeant Cole from London.
Derek Godwin, we were told you were on your way.
Where's the body?
In the morgue.
Search team finished?
Yes.
Did they find anything?
No, nothing.
Bullet case?
Nothing.
It was ditched after he was shot, sir.
How much of his face was there?
What's that, sir?
45 caliber bullet. Was he shot close range with half his head off, or was he dropped from 20 yards?
He was dropped, sir, I'd say, sir.
How many trippers have been here?
The whole circus.
Who?
12-man search team, detective chief super, forensic liaison officer, doctor, pathologist, fingerprints, and photographer. He was killed here, sir.
You tell your boss it'll be another hour.
Sir.
Mostly farms around here?
More than farms.
7189 to Hartley.
Go ahead, 7189.
Yeah, we'll be back at the station in about an hour. Yeah, and could you give a message to Sergeant Beck, please, Sergeant Parish? Message reads, "We've got a right one here," unquote.
Message understood.
Exhibits officer?
Detective Sergeant Howlett.
Detective Sergeant Cole. I identified this man as Arthur S. Roberts on 14 St. John's Terrace, London, SE 15. Is there anything to sign?
At the station.
Can I look at these shoes?
The bag's sealed and tagged. I'm the exhibits officer, and it stays sealed and tagged until opened by forensic.
May I take the bag over to the window and look through it to the shoes?
You may.
Now you're stationed.
Sir.
I've made a list of my priorities.
I've got a section to run, sir. That doesn't stop because the circus is in town.
4 teams, background inquiries, follow-up inquiries, Robert's activities in the town, re-interviews. Now, we need 16 men. All I can put in immediately is 12. You'll have to find 4.
You can have my CID, 2, 1 DS and 1 DC.
You're not exactly extending yourself.
You don't mind tie and nick at your disposal.
I view your generous offer of men and facilities as something we have to continue negotiations over.
You sound like a TUC, sir.
I need an operation the size of the TUC.
Inspector Darbley. Sergeant Cole from London.
Let's have him.
Send him in, please. What do you want me to do with this sergeant from London, sir? Accommodation? Catering? What?
He's come up to identify the body. Do me a favour. Keep him out from under our feet.
Come in.
Detective Sergeant Cole, Flying Squad.
Good morning. Inspector Jean Darbley, in charge of this section. I'm Detective Superintendent Brunskill, Senior Investigating Officer. Have you identified the body?
Yes, in the mortuary.
Why do you make the point in the mortuary?
I would have very much liked to have seen the body in situ.
We've got everything we wanted from the site.
You've seen the murder scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Our belief is he was shot locally, then moved to the quarry. If he'd been shot where he was found, we'd have expected more blood near to the body.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what can we do for you, Sergeant? You've identified the body. You can assist us, is this right, with information about the deceased?
Well, I have the relevant permissions to remain here for as long as I can make a useful contribution.
We'll see how we can fit you in.
Thank you.
Well, I've got called to parade now. About a dozen have just joined us. Perhaps you'd care to address them on the subject of the deceased?
Yes, I'd like to.
In one of the dead man's pockets, book matches printed with the Bell Inn address. The Bell Inn, Ainsley Road. We checked the deceased's description at the Bell Inn. It fitted a guest, Arthur Roberts. Turns out he'd registered in his correct London address. We put his name to the CRO. On his record was noted a police contact name, a Detective Sergeant Cole. Go ahead, Sergeant Cole.
Arthur Roberts was a snout of mine for many years. He was a highly intelligent man. At 60, when most villains are punch-drunk with stir, he was at the height of his powers. He was a snout to me. That is, he gave me information about firms he didn't like. But his real occupation was as a black draftsman. A planner of robberies. We know he planned 6 major bank robberies in London in the last 5 years. He may have planned 16. He was good enough to work that percentage and get away with it. If he came here, he had a good reason to do so. We have to find that reason, because that's what will lead us to his killer. I'm sure of it.
Thank you, Sergeant. Roberts arrived on the London Connection train 11:45 a.m. 2 days ago, Monday. Checked into room at the Bell Inn. Landlady says he didn't sleep there the first night. Bedclothes, not rumpled. Made up his sleep the following day. That takes us to last night. Didn't sleep, went out. We assume he was shot in the early hours of this morning. Now, who did he see? Who did he speak to? So far, we gather he spoke to no one. We've no idea where he spent that first night. He didn't hire a car from the local outlets. He didn't take one of the local taxis. So, he spent the first night within walking distance of the Bell Inn.
Or someone picked him up.
Or someone picked him up. Today's work. He went somewhere in those 2 days. Pubs, drinking clubs, a dozen in the town. Check 'em. 3 teams. 2 will concentrate on Robert's activities in the town. 1 on background inquiries to liaise with Sergeant Cole. Sergeant Brown and Sergeant Forbes will sort the teams. Let's have some results by day's end, all right?
That old corn mill is the start of the Industrial Revolution. Bit of a contrast to the industrial estate we've had built up now. Some of that was the first of its kind in England. But this bit here is brand new. Around here we had 40 years warning of slumpflation. When the mills started to close, we had to find new industries. High profits, low manning ones.
Tough.
We're both suffering from a little social leprosy at the moment. You know you're not really wanted. We get a murder once in a blue moon. We don't want some smart aleck outsider barging in, subtracting the kudos, maybe even solving it.
Just as long as it gets solved. How are you a social leper?
I don't want my men and my Nick steamrolled flat by this murder squad circus. Can I do anything for you?
I'd like to keep the Boy Scout who met me at the station.
Are you sure I couldn't call HQ for a Range Rover? They've got 6 in traffic. We've walked nearly 3 miles, Sarge. You've not said why.
That's his farm. What kind of a farm?
Sheep, mostly. Like most of them round here on the moors. Not a big place. Can we stop for a fag, Sarge?
I don't smoke.
I can't go on any further, Sarge.
Robert, 60 years old, left the Bell Inn on Monday night. I wanted to see how far he could have walked. I keep myself fit. Let's say you're at least as fit as Robert's. Let's say he walked in a 3-mile radius from the Bell Inn.
Why'd you say he walked? He could have been picked up by a car.
From what I could make out from my underprivileged look into a plastic bag, Robert's shoes had scrapes of lichen all over them. Lichen comes from walking through trees. He didn't stroll down the street and get into a car. He walked across country. That's the point.
There are plenty of trees over there, Sarge.
That's where we're going. Who owns this?
Old man Worley.
How long's he been here?
Born here.
All right, back to the station.
You worked anything out yet, Sarge?
Yes. You still talk too much. Cole speaking. Hang on, Brian. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Gordon, Harris and I have been out in Morden. Robert's had a favourite pub there. Used to go there 2-3 times a week.
Yes.
Catterick Arms, den of iniquity. He was there Sunday night talking to a bloke called Tony Cantwell. Landlord knew him.
Cantwell.
Speciality, conversion of stolen cash into foreign currencies.
A bagman and a draftsman. How would they connect?
No thoughts. Cantwell's on suspicion for several jobs. 68 Bexley Heath Co-op, 70 Carrington Lock credit card fraud.
Vague suspicion that he handled cash conversion on the Taylor security robbery.
Brian, see if you can get more on Cantwell. I think you should stay with that Morden scene.
Be in touch, Gordon.
Cheers, Brian.
Do you think he was up here planning a job?
I was waiting for that question from the senior investigating officer.
I was one of the first on the murder scene. That's less than half an hour after the farmhand discovered the body. Rigor hadn't set in. He still looked human. He was a small man, but strongly built. Could he throw his weight around?
He could and did.
So he could have come up here the aggressor and ended up the victim.
Yes.
I'd like to get a picture of the possibilities. The assumption is he was put down by some heavy mob with a 45, but it could be the other way around. Some terrified bloke killing in self-defense.
Yes.
Let's see if us two, the outsiders, can sort some of this out.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for lunch, Gordon?
This is going to sound boring. I'm a vegetarian.
Coffee? Tea?
No, thanks, ma'am. I don't drink either.
How did you start the friendship with Roberts?
10 years back. He became a regular snout of mine. Oh, he only informed on people he didn't like. There were certain things I approved in him. He had a lot of suffering in his life. He found strength from it rather than his weaknesses. I know his son was killed in a motorbike crash. And he was a careful man. I like that. He knew one day I'd arrest him. That was the only game he played, pretending I wouldn't. It wouldn't happen. The rest was honest. We used to meet a couple of times a week in a pub on the Fulham Road. He told me about the books he was reading.
What kind of books?
Or biographies. But the lightweight stuff, Antonio Fraser. He had a nice house, Peckham. Had a small dog that looked like him, neat like him. It's not right that such a precise man should meet such an untidy death.
No.
Would you like some of this?
Thank you, no. I'll leave you to it.
Do you think we should tell the senior investigating officer about the phone call? Robert's movements?
No rush. How long can you stay?
3 or 4 days. Longer if I can produce something to the satisfaction of my bosses.
Not long.
I'll do it.
Seem very positive.
I'll find the reason Roberts came here. It's a small town.
It's a complicated one. It's a closed community. Families that have known each other for generations. They're cool with strangers.
So am I.
I'm off now, ma'am, unless in the circumstances...
Thank you, Joseph, but in view of the day...
Ah, you know what day it is?
Yes, I heard. Joseph today celebrates 22 years on the force.
Today, I earned me silver handcuffs. 22 long ones. Drinks on me over the road, 6 o'clock. Can you come, ma'am?
Yeah.
Grand.
Does your invitation extend to Gordon here?
All right. Bring your own lettuce.
You will come.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I have Hartley Station to run, some social work to do. What are your plans?
Well, I'd like to be on the road with Bentley as soon as he's finished his lunch hour.
2 o'clock. I'll join you.
He wouldn't walk miles just to be picked up by a car. He walked to a house. Correction, a farm.
Approximately 20 farms on the ordnance within a 3-mile Hartley radius.
We're going to visit them all, ma'am.
Yeah. You feeling all right, Roland?
Yes, ma'am.
Roland here sometimes gets car sick.
Not often. And rarely when I'm driving.
Drive on.
Hello, Mr. Dillon.
Afternoon.
This is Inspector Darbley. That's Detective Sergeant Cole.
It was my great-great-grandfather done for sheep stealing. I'm honest, I tell you.
Inspector Darbley's in charge of Hartley.
Aye, I've heard about you, missus.
Mr. Cole here comes from London.
Is that right?
All the way up to ask some questions.
Anything you want to know?
Last Monday, this man, did you see him?
No. Is he local?
No.
Well, last Monday, did you see or hear anything out of the ordinary? Trucks, cars passing that weren't local?
What time?
Around about midnight.
Oh, no. I'm in bed 9:30. My head's on that pillar. I'm up at 4:30 every morning, you know.
I see. Well, thank you.
Hey, there was something. Last Monday night. I'm one of those unfortunates. If I get woke up, I've the dickens of a job getting back to Kip again. And it happened on Monday night.
What happened?
A boat on the canal woke me up.
What canal?
There's a canal down there behind them trees. Boats go on it.
What time did you wake up?
About midnight.
A boat at midnight?
Up there at Pollett's Farm, they've got 2 caravans. They let them out in summer with a little hardboard motorboat. Sounded like that.
This isn't summer, Mr. Dillon.
Look, if that boat's going up that canal, it's got to stop at Pollett's Farm. Canal's blocked off down there.
Have you ever heard a boat before on the canal at midnight?
Not as I can recall. Unless it had a light on it.
Did you see a light on the canal?
I was in bed. I wasn't looking at canal. I wasn't looking at wife either.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. We'll check that out.
Pleasure. If you want to know anything, you know where I am.
Thanks, Arthur.
Who owns Pollett's Farm?
Pollett's Farm? Mr. Garland. He's one of them property speculators.
Is he from round here?
Originally. Not any longer, though.
Why not?
He lives in Norwich.
Well, there's certainly no one living here. Fresh. Look at that.
Sleeping bags.
Primer stove, portable radio, tea-making stuff.
Hippies? Squatters?
Hippies and squatters wouldn't con a milkman into delivering milk. National car park ticket. Dated 4 days ago.
Obviously some visitors from the smoke.
What do you think?
Someone's coming back. We need a watch mounted.
Roland, you stay here. I'll get some others out to join you.
What about me tea? I'm due me refreshments in 20 minutes. You'll let them know I'm here, won't you?
We won't forget you, Roland. Come in.
Some files you wanted, Mum.
Is that all? Hold on.
Cole speaking. Hang on, Brian. Go ahead.
Your Mr. Garland's an interesting man. Also known as Harold Durran, George Pettit, form on all names. Villain, runs a restaurant in Soho, then turns up with money, buys Pollitt's farm, and rents a big house in Norwich.
Who's telling you?
Maitre d' at restaurant, no great admirer of the boss. Garland paid £130,000 for Pollitt's farm in November 1973.
November 1973?
Right.
The Taylor Securities job.
October, £200,000.
That 70,000 for Cantwell to change the hot securities, 130,000.
Cantwell seen in pub with Roberts, unproven connection to the Taylor security robbery.
That could be it. I'll be in touch, Brian.
Right, Gordon.
What about this? October 1973. Roberts, Cantwell, Garland pulled the Taylor Securities job. Roberts plans the robbery. Cantwell converts the hot securities into cash. Garland buys the farm with the proceeds. The idea to sit on the investment and wait. They wait 6 years. The farm sold prior to auction.
Roberts comes up to collect his share.
An argument over it. A shooting.
Now we've got some facts. We'll pass them to the senior investigating officer.
Yes, we'll have to.
You lot always have to create the stir, don't you? You can't leave anything to us bloody stupid provincial.
That's enough, Joseph.
One small protest in 22 years. Don't you think I'm entitled to just one? Please give me your answer to that, ma'am, after I've made an urgent call. All right, everybody.
I assure you it is once in a lifetime. Hard to know whether to celebrate 22 years in the force or hate it.
Yes. Will you excuse me a minute, ma'am? Don't you ever do that again. I'll go to the Nick and pick up my things. And then I'll go straight to the farm.
I'll give you a lift if you like.
No. That's not necessary.
He's an odd one.
He speaks his mind. He's okay. Sergeant Cole here.
In the locker room, ma'am.
In 2 minutes. Do you have transport from the inn to the farm?
Mr. Runskill's laying it on.
You're Rook with Sergeant Beck.
Not important.
I told you it was once in a lifetime.
I understood.
Maybe you should bend a little, Gordon.
Oh, I don't know about that, ma'am.
Why not?
I get my results by being a little harder than the villains. That's why I catch them.
You were happy, ma'am.
It's what I know, ma'am, and what I do. Knowing I do it well, that's what makes sense of it.
You make your entire life the job.
Is there another way?
There has to be.
You're talking about degrees of compromise.
I'm talking about sanity.
Ooh, that could be a luxury for some of us.
You're saying that seriously? Sanity is a luxury.
Sanity is something we define within the purpose of our lives. You compromise that purpose, you can lose your way. Maybe that's what happened to Arthur Roberts. He should have been too bright to die like that.
Tell me the real reason you're a friend of his.
A paradox. He grew over the years into a worthwhile protagonist. I wanted one day to get him for something really big. Now, by his death, I've been cheated of it.
I think that explains quite a lot, Gordon. I'll see you tomorrow. Or tonight if they turn up at the farm. Good night.
Good night.
You right?
No.
What's up?
What a day. From a major murder investigation to two sergeants trying to wallop each other.
Come on, home. At an early start again tomorrow.
Do we even have a home? Tomorrow's exchange of contracts.
I've got news for you, love. We've got two, plus a very impressive bridging loan.
What I love about you is when I'm a bit down, you really bring me up.
Do you want the rest of it now?
Rest.
Well, I got the application form for the social services job in the post this morning.
Yes?
I filled it in right away and took it round. Got an interview on Thursday.
Bit sudden, why?
Don't know, guilt, worry. Want to talk about it now?
No.
Oh, come on. It's much better now than at 7 in the morning, before you go off to that farm on your policewomanly duties.
Okay.
Well, I want to do social work. I've got an instinct that I'm right for the job.
Yes?
I'm not going to get another job as a design draftsman around here. Not in the near future, anyway.
What's bugging you?
Money. The salary.
What is the salary?
I don't know. I should imagine about half of what I was getting as a draftsman.
Take it.
What's about the money?
We'll survive.
Will we?
I think you do know what the money is.
Well, I did hear a whisper, but I didn't believe my ears.
What?
I'm not telling you. Not till you're greatly increased in strength, or drunk, or both, whichever's soonest. Come on.
Okay. Will you drive?
I've been drinking.
Oh, come on. 1 pint? I'm not going to book you.
Are you all right, Sergeant?
Inspector Dalby to hard to control. Give me talk through.
You have talked through.
Inspector Dalby to 7431. I'm nearing site. Is it clear to enter?
Road clear. Go ahead.
Thank you, out. Garland? Cantwell.
I'll park your car on the back, Mum.
How's your head, Sergeant Beck?
Fine, Mum.
Gives me that. It's out. Morning.
Morning. Anything?
I talked to the dairy. The milkman says a respectable-looking bloke ordered a pint of milk a day 4 days ago. How long have you been here?
Left in the early hours, came on again at 7.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
How many here?
6, plus our London friend.
Fancy something happening, then?
It'll happen.
I'll give the troops a once-over if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Sir?
White Ford Transit van just turned off Main Road.
There's a transit on the way down, sir.
Right, take cover.
Because of that bloody Roberts, we've really got to clean this place out. Still, let's hope about half hour see us out. Eh, Tone?
I should think so. Don't forget to put your gloves on. I don't want dabs all over the place, all right?
Yep.
There's a lot of weight there.
We'll reduce them.
As soon as we're in there, call HQ for assistance. As many as possible.
God, look at the state of this place.
Did we smoke that much?
Well, I got the milk. How about a cup of tea?
No chance. See all them blankets, get them all rolled up, put them in a bin, take them outside and burn them.
Right. Move.
Hang about. I think it's on us.
Shall we stay and front it out?
What do we do, Tony?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Come on, let's go.
Just how far do you think you're going?
The deal was to keep the farm 6 years. Sell it, split the money. Roberts wanted more of the split. Garland took out a gun, Cantwell says. Roberts made a dive for it. It went off. That's the long and short of it. I'll save the details for the report. Oh, I'd like to make my report back in London, if that's all right with you, sir. You'll have it tomorrow.
That's fine, Sergeant.
If I could trouble you for some transport back to the station, sir, I've got my bags outside.
I'll take you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Come on.
Can I have a word, ma'am?
Yes.
Something at the desk.
Give me a minute.
We've had to take Cantwell to the hospital. His arm's badly broken. He said Sergeant Cole did it deliberate.
Cole says it was an accident.
Did he?
Well, you better explain the complaints procedure to him. Ready?
I've got a friend who's going to be buried over there.
Oh, aye, sir.
Can you tell me about burial at public expense? Do they provide a headstone up here?
No, sir, they do not.
What do you charge for your cheapest stone?
Cheapest, sir? Well, with the cost of granite, up 15% in the last 6 months. For instance, that item there, £100, including VAT, cemetery fee, and 50 letters best engraving.
I'll take it.
Right. Write the name and message. As I said, up to 50 letters. Arthur S. Roberts. You still got plenty more letters to write a quote, like "Nearer my God to thee" or "Rest in peace," you know, of that style.
Arthur S. Roberts, born 1919, died 1980. No? No, there's not a lot else you could say about him.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're back in Lancashire with Juliet Bravo tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m, here on Drama. Next, more police work, this time with the boys and girls of Sun Hill in the bill.
Here, lad. You'll be needing this.
Thank you, sir.
Find the bear pit.
So, how did they get in?
On a shaft of bloody moonlight. They must have picked this.
Are there any lights? They took the key to the generator.
Why would they do that, Major?
You're the bloody detective.
No, not for a couple of weeks yet, sir. I'm still a constable.
So I couldn't put the light on to see what they'd done.
Hmm. What you got this lot down here for?
I was in the war. The next one won't be fought with guns.
Never seen half of these labels. Hey, how many minutes do they give you to put your head in a paper bag?
Look, I'm not mad, but when Russia does come, I'll have everything down here necessary. I won't be caught.
You're not going to eat them, are you?
Well, they won't blow. It's a constant temperature down here. Look, 2's missing.
Leave a load of these over to the station. We'll give you an hand to shift them.
Hey, in addition, 2 sets of knives and forks, primus stove, 3 tins of pork sausages, 2 of corned beef, 2 blankets, and the generator key.
So you reckon they're coming back then, do you, Major? The key, I mean.
They didn't count on me inspecting down here daily, so when you come back here with a live detective, you can show them this. Huh? Spent matches. And that exactly as I found it.
Perfume.
My privacy's been invaded.
Tom! Tom?
Huh? Hello?
You sound all in.
Oh. I've been traipsing around with everybody all day long, asking questions. I think my feet are still out the back, morning. Design was all answers, social work's all asking questions.
Do you know what my nickname is?
Wonder Woman.
How did you know?
What time is it?
Cuppa?
Oh, God. Oh. Oh.
Whilst walking down the path at the rear of the house, I fell over some debris. I.S., not E.S. Caught my uniform in some shrubbery, causing a number of tears to the material. Policemen don't fall over,
It was dark, ma'am.
even in the dark.
No, ma'am.
I've pointed out to Major Adams the error of his ways, and tonight, when you patrol again, the tripwires, any form of trap, will not be there. We'll let the report stand, shall we, to save you any embarrassment at headquarters. Inspector Darby. That has been covered. I'm taking 2 off the late shift and 1 off the night shift for the prisoner's van. And if we sense any further trouble, I'll keep the early shift on as well. Yes.
Now then, I've gotcha. Let's have a look here. Come on, now, what are you doing in here? Let go. Oh! 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 Oh!
Let's go! Come on!
Hey! Come back here!
Hartley here to all units. Wanted in connection with the offence of burglary at 29 Havering Road. Female, 13, 15 years. Height, 5 foot 2 inches. Wearing beige anorak and jeans.
Joseph.
7189 Bentley to investigate at scene. Inspector Darby on her way there. Acknowledge, please. Over.
7189. Message received, Sarge. On my way. Out.
Snap. Where was the tea lad when it mattered?
He's been here twice.
I pay rates, woman.
Inspector, Major. He's got a big patch. You can't just stay here.
If I'd have left my traps up, I would have caught them.
They came in from the road.
I'd have put up more, all over the place.
When you first saw them, you should have phoned us then.
Happened, but you hear this. Officer or no, those traps go back.
I'd rather you let us run things, Major. It's dangerous taking the law into your own hands.
Don't lecture me.
For others and yourself.
Yep. Oh, I can look after myself.
How's your hand?
Back there in my kitchen, you take a damn good look at the plates on my dresser, Inspector, because, Inspector, you'll find every one spotless, unscarred, never a crack. And if the Holy Ghost walked in there, he could eat off anyone that he chose. Only one gets used at a time, because I eat on my own, I drink solo. Nobody digs my garden, I do it, and I know every bloody crocus by name. Oh, I can manage, and I always have. And do you know why, Inspector?
No.
Oh, so you don't know everything, eh? Oh, pity, eh? Well, if I'm asked a question and I don't know the answer, I make an excuse, I leave the room and I go to the bog where I keep a book of answers. Me. Good, eh?
You're very lucky.
Oh, no. Oh, once upon a bloody time I was a lad. And then I had mates. And then one by one, details consisting of their mates went out into the sand and buried them. Q. Adams. And when he handed out every item of clothing, every bit of webbing, boots, blankets for a whole regiment. And if you want to get them back, you've got to pick them off tank metal. You end up not liking what people do to people. Do you follow me?
I think so.
And you end up not wanting to know. Yeah, eat it. You won't die.
Well, we do want to know.
Well, I suppose you're only doing your job.
You got a good look at the girl. Do you know her?
No, but she reminded me of the lass who used to do the paper round about a year back. Mind you, I'm not sure.
1 minute man traps, the next...
Look, they grow up so quick, that's all I'm saying.
Do you know her name?
No.
Do you still get your papers delivered from the same place?
Roberts.
Down Ainsley Road? Get under control. Tell them to give the description to the tobacconist, ask if they know such a girl and what's her name and address.
It's 11:15.
I know the time. Keyholder's card. The tobacconist will be on the phone. We've got a girl and her friend out at this time of night. If they didn't get what they were after, they'll try elsewhere. And we shall have another call.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, there's your list, minus the chocolate.
You stay here.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey. Jean, love. Come in, come in. Business or business?
Business.
Oh, damn. Just fancy the sherry.
I want to see Carol Bampton. She's here, isn't she?
Holidays. Is it about her mother?
No.
Well, she can't be in trouble.
Kay, listen. We have reason to believe that on 2 occasions she's burgled a house.
When?
2 out of the last 3 nights.
What time?
Around midnight.
Jean, the fact that I look like Captain Hook lately doesn't mean I'm a sadist. Careless either. She's been here. After all, there are rules in a place like this.
Is there a care order for her because there isn't on my records?
Of course there isn't. She's only here because her mother's in the County General and not likely to come out. A stroke.
Has she any other relatives?
None. She helps here with the little ones, and then, like the rest of us, she's locked up at night.
Have you had any trouble with her?
Well, obviously she's finding it difficult adjusting. This isn't home. It's a home. She's not over fond of lights out and telly off and... I do admit, she tends to blame everybody and not circumstances for her mother's condition. But does that make her a thief?
We think 2 are involved. Is she a friend?
No. She'll only talk to the little ones. It's where she is now.
Boyfriends?
Obviously, my control over her is necessarily loose. She's not here officially, if you see what I mean. What does that mean? Well, Pauline, she does the meal supervision. It's the only time I get to myself. She did say over the last week or two, Carol's not eating everything. Anything wrapped or fruit, she takes out with her. Just observation.
I think I better see her now.
You prove I'm slipping, and it's the last time you're drinking here. Oh, and look, can you spare Carol for a few minutes? In my office. Thanks. What's she supposed to have taken?
He's here at the desk demanding to see the inspector. Get her if you can, or there'll be blood on the walls.
Yeah, I'll tell her now, Sarge. Out.
Come on, Carol. Get down. You might fall.
Get up!
Carol? Carol, come on, love.
I'm not.
You're not what?
Your love.
My name's Inspector Darbley. I think you know what I've come about.
No.
Why did you run away?
Don't like the police.
People who don't usually have a reason. What's yours?
You're always picking on us.
Us?
Teenagers.
When were you picked on?
Carol.
Not me. Friends.
Boyfriends? You got one, haven't you? Aren't you proud of him?
None of your business.
No need to be rude, Carol.
We seem to have got off on the wrong foot. Mrs. Brown's told me why you're here. I'm sorry about your mother. All right. 3 nights ago, you went into a shelter attached to 29 Havering Road and took away tin food, a primer stove, blankets and cutlery. Where are they all now? You did, didn't you?
Do you wear makeup?
I'm old enough.
And again last night, only this time Major Adams caught you, but you got away. Why didn't you answer me?
Because I was here. I was in here at 11 o'clock.
I haven't mentioned any time. Why did you say 11?
You can ask anybody here. You find out.
I intend to. Mrs. Brown, do you have any objections to me looking in this young lady's room?
It's private.
So is the Major's shelter.
You can't mind, Carol, if you've got nothing to hide.
Nothing, Mum.
Told you.
Who's this?
Leave him alone.
He's nice. Your boyfriend?
Keep him out of it. He hasn't done anything.
You did it, on your own?
Yes.
You went down in that shelter on your own, in the dark?
Yes.
2 blankets and all the rest are pretty bulky. You couldn't carry all that out on your own.
I did.
All right, where's it all now?
Sold them.
Where?
I threw them all away. Give me them pictures.
You just told me you sold them.
Well, I'm just telling you, I chucked them away. Give me my pictures.
Carol.
No, Kay, leave it. Carol, are you on the pill?
I know what you're saying. It's not that.
Then why?
He makes me laugh all the time.
What's his name? Then we shall have to go around all the schools, shops.
You're not going to show my pictures. They're mine. You won't find him. Am I going to be arrested?
For the moment, you'll be reported. A summons may be issued and you'll have to go to the juvenile court eventually.
I can still stay here.
But under much stricter supervision.
You're going to tell Mum about this?
If it's harmful to her, no.
If you don't tell her, I'll tell his name. But not where he is. I'll never do that.
No promises, Carol.
Is Kenny, that's all.
You good with locks? The blankets and things, they're with him, yeah? He's camping out.
I'm not telling.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown.
Inspector, I've been waiting here 45 minutes.
Ah, councillor.
I've got a job as well.
Why wasn't I told the councillor was here?
Well, you were. I saw it going out on the radio.
Oh. That was the message I was coming to tell you when I spotted the girl, ma'am. Sorry, I forgot.
A breakdown in communication. I apologise, councillor. Constable, would you mind getting us 2 coffees?
Forget that. You listen to me. I've got a list of the off-street parking for the supporters' coaches. I'm telling you, they're not going down Castle Street or Verney Street. You remember year before last? Bloody mayhem. Broken milk bottles abused, even the gate pinched. You change venue or I'm going down to police committee. Nothing they'll be listening. I'm speaking with these residents. It's my ward, cups I know. They've even told me they'll barricade each end.
Could you spare me 1 minute? Get a message out to all units next time in the station and before going off duty to have a look at that photograph. I want an address for the lad in it. He's called Kenny and he may be camping out. Get WPC Gilbert up from Juvenile Liaison. Let her see it. Tell her to collect a copy and go round Ridgefield Comprehensive and St Joseph's. Check with Northern CRO, Ray absconders from detention centres and Borstals. Is obviously on the trot from somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, councillor. Football.
Hello, Mum.
You little devil.
I think I know this boy.
Then why don't I have him on file?
Oh, no, ma'am, it wasn't a crime or a traffic case.
Ah.
He was at the juvenile court 6 months back. I think it was truancy. The local authority dealt with it. What's his name? I forget. But go and ring the clerk of the court's office. They'll have it. If I remember right, somebody told me the mother had to be removed from the hearing. She slung her bag at the father.
Use that.
Can we see the room?
I'll get in more trouble with the court.
Forget the court. What about your lad?
What about him?
You know where he is?
It's holidays.
You on prepayment meters?
He wouldn't steal.
Are you?
Yeah.
Go and check them, will you?
Steve McQueen come back, all is forgiven.
You didn't see an outside coat downstairs, did you?
No, Sarge. Well, he's got taste.
Hey! What?
Meters are all right, but the candles have gone.
Candles? Come up here, Mr. Nicholas, before I stick one up your nose.
I keep them for power cuts.
When did you last see Kenny?
Couple of days.
I'm asking you.
Couple of days.
He lives here, doesn't he?
I work nights down Patterson's, so I sleep in the day. You have to take best money where you can nowadays. You sort of see him tea time.
When does he eat?
Well, there's money in jar for chippy. Then I cook proper at weekends. Or takeaway.
Mr. Nicholas, I want you to have a good look around this paradise and tell me if anything's missing. Will you do that?
Yeah.
Has he got a post office savings book?
No. Oh, I'll give him money.
A bike?
No. I can't see anything that's gone. It's all rumpled.
Keep looking.
Look, why are you asking me all this?
Where do you think he's gone?
Where?
That's what you're helping us find out.
I can't find anything.
Where do you think he'd go, Mr. Nicholas? Your wife's?
Told him never to.
But he might go there. What's the address? He's your son, Mr. Nicholas.
He won't go there. No.
Something wrong?
Coins.
What?
Coins?
You're right. He has gone. He won't go anywhere without them. See, well, when I give him money, he buys old coins. He can sit here for hours just turning them over. He knows every Prime Minister since Walpole. 1760 or thereabout. Yeah. He's gone to her. She's with a singer. Does the clubs.
Where's that?
Clubs?
The singer.
She never bothered dressing up when she was here. No conversation, just LPs all the time. She says she does for him. Bet she does. Housekeeper, eh? Oh, it might be rumpled here, but you notice it's clean. That's me, not her. That coat were right, suggesting he lived here. Not with her. They're little trays in blue velvet.
What's the address?
47 Ailerby Close. Turley.
That's 30 miles. How do you reckon he'd get there? You been there?
Tried to get her back.
All right, Mr. Nicholas, thanks. We'll do our best.
Do you think I ought to go to work tonight?
He's your son. If he were mine, I'd be out looking.
Somebody's got to earn money. They all need it.
Ah, thank you, Edward.
OK.
That's the mother's address, ma'am, but it's out of our patch.
I'll get the locals to call round and search. In the meantime, get him circulated as missing from home and wanted for interview, suspected burglary, and make sure his particulars are on the PNC.
Yes, ma'am.
In 5 minutes, I want to go have another look at Castle Street and Verney Street.
Negative, ma'am.
Well done, you failed again. We think we know where he is.
Where's that, Sarge?
San Francisco.
Come in. Hello.
I finished with the little ones and I've had tea. I want to go and see Mum. Visiting's 5 o'clock till East.
I know. How are you going to get there?
Bus and walk back.
I've got a better idea. I'll take you.
You can trust me, I'll be back by 7.
Oh, it's no bother. What you going to take her?
Chocolates.
What are you doing?
Parachuting.
Good grief!
They were ugly, filthy, at the wrong height, and useless.
They were the right height for me. What are you doing?
I'm doing it myself, starting from scratch.
And how am I supposed to cook and hang things?
Well, A, we both cook, and B, I'm going to make some new ones.
Oh, well, you're the expert.
Then stand aside, Rudolph. Look, Jean. Design principles are the same whether it's Concord, coil windings, or ideal kitchen. Proper use of space, aptness of materials, proper matching of function to effect, efficiency to style.
Your style or mine?
How is it?
Oh, thanks very much.
What does that mean?
It means you mean ours means yours.
What?
How do you know what my idea of a kitchen is? Men may design them, women work in them. We haven't even talked about it. Why are these going?
Because they're open, wasting space. I thought fitted cupboards the whole length. But then I'm just an impractical man.
And where's the cooker going?
Over there, to release space for a deep freeze.
I wanted an extractor above the cooker.
Well, you can have an extractor above the cooker. It's an outside wall. Or it can go there.
Next to the door and furthest from the lounge. God help our legs.
Oh, first you don't want stinks, and then you want cabbage smells next to the lounge.
I never said that.
Phone.
Damn. If I answer it, do you promise not to start again?
Till you get back, all right.
Hey! Hello?
Turley Station here, ma'am. Read your request for a search, 47 Ailby Close. I apologise for ringing, ma'am, but your sergeant said you wanted to be phoned at home.
Yes, yes, yes. What happened?
Negative, ma'am.
What do you think of Mrs. Nicholas?
Yes, she didn't like us much. In fact, she hardly said a word, ma'am.
Did you seem worried about the boy?
Tell you the truth, no, not much. She didn't let on.
Did you tell her he was suspected of burglary?
No, we only said he was missing from home.
All the more reason for her to comment. Look, go back tomorrow. Can you go back at 7:30 in the morning and see the singer, the boyfriend? Apparently he's younger. He can't want a kid hanging around the place.
Will do, ma'am.
Thanks. Kiss me.
I just think what I'm doing for you, Inspector. Cork tile ceilings, wall-to-wall toothpicks, microwave orchestras.
Complete with extractors?
Last night, Inspector, I attended a meeting of the residents of the streets concerned. I reported on our conversation, but even so, they're threatening that unless you
Councillor Blake,
really...
maps and directions for parking have already gone to their supporters' clubs.
Inspector Darbley,
What
you
I
don't...
have done is get aid from my adjoining division, plus mounted branch and dogs.
Those thugs are going to be all over
Those
the...
will be escorted from the coaches to the ground and from the ground back to the coaches. Every driver will be instructed on his arrival that his coach has to be out of the street by 5 p.m. Any supporter found with a bottle or tin, it will be taken from him. Are you satisfied?
How much is this going to cost the ratepayer?
Any barricades will have to be removed, so think about that cost to the ratepayer. Your job is to inform the residents about all this, reassure them, if you will, over my arrangements, and remind them of the cost of any unilateral action. Good morning.
Good morning.
Two things. One of the bothers of running a shop like this is what's concern and what's interference.
I know the problem.
Yesterday, Carol said she visited her mother, and she didn't. I know because I checked. It was an excuse to go somewhere quite dusty and come back with a coat inside out.
Where? Then how do you know?
Because I took her to and I collected her from the County General. So before you slice my neck, you can see she wasn't allowed to run totally loose.
But she got away.
And came back with a parcel, which she said was her mother's, but it obviously wasn't.
How long was she away?
An hour.
So it must be somewhere in town. Is she upstairs?
No, she's gone with Anne and the little one swimming. Then this morning... Oh. Where the hell is it? She got a postcard this morning, but she knows no one, just seen you.
From Turley?
Good heavens, yes. How clever.
Signed Kenny?
No, coins. Coins?
He's there. Thanks, Kay, you're an angel.
Oh, we're conditioned devoutly not to be wished.
May I?
Yeah. You know, I shall have to give this to her.
That's all right, but keep an eye on that little lady. Sergeant Beck, listen. Tell Bentley to get into his civvies. He's coming out with me tonight to Turley. I'll collect him with the car at 7:15, sharp.
Yep.
Not looking for an international drugs ring? Where'd you get all that?
I saved up, ma'am. What we're going to do, ma'am?
Wait and watch. Come on.
Ma'am, I think I heard a noise over the far side there. I could have gone over, but it might not have been the boy. Sorry.
For once, you've done the right thing. If you're not sure, ever seek advice. Now, whistle in there. Look round the garage, the bins, everywhere.
Yeah?
I'm Inspector Darbley of Hartley Police.
This is the third time. He's not here.
I've reason to believe that he is.
You've got a bloody nerve.
I'm not discussing police business on any doorstep in front of neighbours. Will you please go to your back door?
Give me one good reason.
The best. Your concern for your boy.
Yes, my boy.
That the reason you haven't lifted that phone once?
Come in, Flatfoot.
Lock it and bring the key. Stay here and watch the upstairs while I do the downstairs, and don't move.
You're not going in my kitchen.
I'm going to look in every cupboard, waste bin, tap walls.
Have you got a warrant?
When your lad's missing.
Why don't you get on to his dad?
We are.
You're lucky you found him in. I hardly ever saw him in 15 years of marriage.
Carol?
It's not my fault I'm living here. You can't help being in love. Look at this place and what I used to have to put up with. I wanted to take him from that court.
Oh.
Why up there?
Mrs. Nichols.
Why all this fuss about a kid who might just be having a night away from a pigsty? I did when I was his age.
Because you might also be a thief.
Get off that!
Hey?
Get off it!
Hey, give us a chance, missus. Look, just stay there, right?
That was painted over, for God's sake.
Up you go.
Nope.
I've told you, haven't I?
It wasn't her fault.
I wanted him here. He wanted to come. I want to keep him. Oh, this'll go because I'm too old, but I don't want Kenny gone. It's mine. I want him. Anything rather than back with that dead man. You can't get me on anything. I miss Mother.
Harbouring, obstructing the police. But don't think I don't understand. Do you want to be here?
It's quieter. I can get in any time.
Come on, young man.
I'm coming.
Yes, you are.
Come in. How?
Carol.
She wouldn't say. You're lying.
She was caught the second time. You know that. That's why you ran. Now we know what was taken. Where is it all now?
You haven't cautioned me.
I thought you hadn't done anything yet.
Where are your coins, lad? They're not back at your dad's place.
Are they with the rest? If we don't find them, someone else might. Even take them.
Can I go out and get them, then come back here?
No.
But they're mine.
The primer stove, tins of food, blankets and cutlery were Major Adams's.
You're magic, you are. I'll show you him. You don't hear fighting there.
Kenny, I'm going to caution
Is he
you.
where Carol might have run away to?
Yeah.
Hello. Why'd you go away? So you wouldn't get caught. Where are my coins? Back at the home, so you wouldn't get caught.
Challenge by a Villa defender, this time Swain, but at the expense of a corner. A minute of normal time to go. As Malcolm Poskett's got a second for Watford at Wolves. What a score. Wolves 0, Watford 2. Here in the final minute.
All right, man.
So far?
And we're back in Lancashire with Juliet Bravo tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. here on Drama. Next, more police work, this time with the boys and girls of Sun Hill in the Bill.